Hello and welcome to another weekly vlog. This week I am reading books with song lyrics in the title. And I'm kicking it off today on Saturday, September 9th because I am going to see my favorite band, The Wonder Years. I have been a fan of The Wonder Years since I was 16 years old. I might have even been younger than that, but I have never missed one of their shows. I love going to their concerts. They're just one of my favorite bands. They do it great, and I cannot wait to see them tonight. They're doing a festival. It's their first ever music festival that they're putting on by themselves. I'm super excited, so I will take you with me. But before I leave, I want to show you my TBR. This whole video is inspired by the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, and throughout the year I've been making reading vlogs into the prompts, so I can check them off. And one of the prompts is to read a book with a song lyric in the title. So last night I picked up Friday I'm in Love by Cameron Garrett. I am so excited to read this. It just felt right to start the vlog with this because it's my favorite author. I'm going to see my favorite band, and I've been wanting to read this book all year since it showed up on my doorstep when I pre-ordered it, but I've been waiting for this vlog, so I finally get a chance to read it.
Say I don't care about you, it's Friday, I'm in love.
Hello, Happy New Year. I started this vlog in September and it's January. So I am trying to finish it up and I am still reading Friday I'm in Love. I left off on page 54, so I decided to just start from the beginning with the audiobook, and I am 42% in, so I wanted to check in. Like I've already mentioned, Cameron Garrett is one of my favorite authors. She's an auto buy for me. I buy every single book that she publishes because she is great. This is about Mahalia Harris, who wants to have a sweet 16, but her family is having money troubles, so she can't have one. And quite frankly, she is really jealous of her friend Naomi, who doesn't have those struggles. And this really talks about class. From the perspective of a black teen, you're really seeing how devastated she is that she can't have the things that her friends do. This is especially relatable at this moment as we're living through a recession. Inflation is at an all-time high, and people are struggling to even live. Most people are living paycheck to paycheck, and that is barely cutting it. So I think that this is really relatable for a lot of teens. This is what I love about Cameron Garrett and her stories. I can just imagine a teen picking this up and really enjoying it and feeling seen. Cameron Garrett does a great job of having unique storylines, and I feel like any teen that picks this up is going to relate to it in some capacity, especially if they're like Mahalia and their family doesn't come from wealth, or they're just lower class and they have to see the things that their friends get and they can't. So Mahalia and her friend Naomi are watching Love, Simon, and she decides, why don't I have a coming out party? So that is the main plot of the book, but you're seeing a lot of other things go on. She works at a grocery store and she was just reprimanded by her boss. She's a very fiery character and she speaks her mind, and she even talks about how her mouth gets her in trouble sometimes. Since this book is called Friday I'm in Love, and this reading vlog is all about music, I want to share a clip with you from Cameron Garrett's book launch where she talks more about the meaning of the title and why she decided to make this music-centric.
So, in the book, Mahalia loves music, especially old school R&B on vinyl. But
yeah.
She also loves like a solid Lorde song. Right, that's what picking favorite songs is. You offer up your heart so that the song can latch onto you, which is extremely relatable, and the book title is also from a song. So I have two questions related to that. So the first one is, why did you choose to have music be such an important part of the book? And second is, what is your favorite song?
Oh my god. Okay. I like keep, I don't know if you do this, I keep like a running list of like things I want to have in a book, like just random things. And
Literally on the notes app, yes.
yeah, no, actually, and I'm like, I want a character who works at the Metrograph, or like, randomly, because I went to Metrograph, or like, I want a character named Egypt, or like, just random things like that. And one thing I really wanted to have was a character who was really like pretentious about music, because there's always, I don't know if you've seen this, on Twitter, there's always like sort of controversy every few months about like kids would not listen to this music that's in this book, and like old people are writing these books. But I was like, I kind of like when a YA kid is like, I only listen to like rock from the 90s because I feel like it's so like it's such a YA staple or like such a teen movie staple. And I really wanted to write a black girl like that because I feel like a lot of times it's like an angry white girl with like kind of greasy hair.
Raccoon eyes, the little hair.
Yeah, and I love those characters, but I wanted to have a black girl who's kind of like, oh, I don't like Bad Bunny, or I don't know if Mahalia would say that, but like when she's making her playlist with her friend and she's putting these really weird songs and her friend's like, why are you doing this? I really wanted someone like that because I just thought it would be really fun. I don't know what my favorite song is.
Pressure's on.
This is really... I don't know, I've been listening to a lot of The Police lately because my dad really loved The Police, and I like feeling close to him in that way. And like Sting's really good. Like it's really embarrassing that I'm like, I went to a restaurant and I was like, Mom, is this reggae? Is this Bob Marley? And she said, that's Sting. That's sort of where I'm at. I like whenever we play music in the store, I'm like, is this Harry Styles? And it's like the 1975. So yeah, Mahalia and I are very similar.
Is everything on vinyl? Is vinyl better?
No, when I used to live, my friend's here, when I used to live with him, I had my vinyl player, and every time I pulled it out, he was like, what are you doing?
Mahalia loves old music. She has a record player that she listens to, and it was hilarious in this one scene where Naomi's like, why don't you just have an electric one? Like, why is this an old one? And I just love that because it is great representation for teens to see that part of themselves, because there are teens that like older music and are like Mahalia where they don't want to listen to Doja Cat. I thought that was great inclusion, and it was hilarious listening to the other characters talk about her and be like, what are you doing? Why don't you like this kind of music? I was a little bit like that as a teen, and I'm still like that now. I just don't care about hyped things. I don't get into the hype. I don't listen to pop music that much. And we have a sapphic romance blooming right now. Mahalia is smitten for this new girl named Siobhan, who is Irish, and she just moved to town. And she is so smitten about this girl that she made a mixtape for her. I love that so much. I feel like you don't see that much in books anymore, so I love that. If you love books that have playlists, this one has it. If there is a Spotify playlist for the book, I'll link it down below. I'm gonna get back to work, listen to more of the audiobook, and I will let you know my final thoughts on Friday I'm in Love, and I think it's gonna be pretty obvious. I'm gonna love this one. I love a book with a queer romance, but like I said, I'm so biased. I love Cameron Garrett. She could write anything and I would read it. Hello, it is January 4th and I just finished up Friday I'm in Love and I loved it. If you've been looking for a book that feels like a teen rom-com, has queer joy, and you love messy main characters, look no further than Friday I'm in Love. This has so many references to 80s and 90s music, and if you love the song Friday I'm in Love, you are going to love the odes to the song. It talks about Fleetwood Mac. As somebody who has always loved music, I love reading books that have playlists. Mahalia is head over heels for Siobhan, and she starts making mixtapes, which are just playlists. It has so many great hits, including the Breakfast Club song, which is the song for the last book I'm going to be reading in this video. I thought that was great. I thought that was a sign that I am doing right by this video and these books. So of course this was a big hit. I just loved how many music references we had, and I love messy queer characters. Mahalia is very messy. She does the wrong things sometimes because she is so smitten over this girl that she cannot even think straight. However, there are other things going on in her life, especially that she lives with her mother and her mother is dealing with a chronic illness, and Mahalia feels like she needs to help out more. But I love the mother-daughter relationship. Mahalia and her mother have a complicated relationship, but I love it because we are seeing it from the perspective of Mahalia and learning throughout the book that these are her thoughts and not her mother's, and I really enjoyed their chemistry together. It was a great mother-daughter relationship to see. There were so many great moments that I was just smiling at her mom, and I loved it so much. The mother-daughter relationship was written very well. I enjoyed the conversations between Mahalia and her mom. They have a complicated mother-daughter relationship, but it's mainly that Mahalia is a teenager and she doesn't understand some things that are happening. On the other hand, Mahalia is also dealing with her father being estranged. He is with a new family, he has all these kids, and Mahalia feels like he is not paying any attention to her. So if that is a difficult topic for you, I want to just mention that she does talk about this, and there's also a scene where she goes to meet her dad and he is just clueless. So I want to point that out. There are some trigger warnings because as this does have queer joy, we also have biphobia, homophobia. There's almost a forced outing, but I liked the way that it was twisted. And there's also some talk about religion, as Mahalia's mom is very religious, and Mahalia talks about how she doesn't feel safe around the Christian community. So if that's also something that is sensitive for you, I wanted to just let you know. But I absolutely loved this. I think Karen Garrett is just getting better and better, and I wish that this was a movie. Karen Garrett actually went to school for film, so a lot of her books feel like films, and if any one of them should be a movie, it is this one. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you've read this or if you're planning to pick it up. Anyway, on to the next book.
Simply freeze. Don't you worry, let me throw you up, 'cause I think I know where you always stuck. You give everything so easily, but there are things you don't let people see.
Hello, it is December 26th and there has been a lot going on in my life, so I haven't been able to pick up this vlog, but that starts now. There has been some health issues I've been dealing with. I also filmed my Goodreads video, and there's an ongoing boycott targeted at St. Martin's Press titles, asking creators and reviewers not to share them. We can read them and buy them, but specifically no promotion. This is free promotion by reviewing their books. So until they address the boycott demands, I will not be sharing any of their books, which is why I am here, because I have to rework this video, and I decided I have a book that I wanted to finish before the end of the year, and it has a Christmas theme. So as Christmas just ended, I am going to pick up Joy to the World, which was sent to me by HarperCollins, Harper Kids specifically. It is called The Shelf Stuff. They reached out to me on Instagram about this book about a trans girl. It is fiction, but the authors are trans, and I am really excited to read this. So I thought it would be a good time to read this. It's Joy to the World. That's a Christmas song.
Later.
Hello, it is January 1st. I am still reading Joy to the World. I'm 70% in, so I wanted to pop in and let you know my thoughts before I go and finish it up. I am really enjoying this. I think if you enjoy Alex Gino, you'll really love this. This is about a 12-year-old trans girl named Joy who loves cheer. The book starts in the summer, and then we're followed into the school year, where Joy tries out for her middle school's cheer team. She ends up making the team, and she is having a blast until her family is introduced to a law that prevents trans girls from playing sports in school, and this is all about her starting her activism and trying to get anyone to hear her so that she can do cheer. And I love this so much because it is told from the perspective of Joy. She is a trans girl that just keeps saying, "Why do you hate me? Why are adults making decisions for me. I just like to cheer. I want to be on the team. And she is just so upset and confused. But what I love is there are queer and trans adults that come into her and her family's life as chosen family. It is called the Rainbow Coalition. I'm not sure if this is actually a thing in Texas. I'll have to look it up. But there is a trans woman and a trans man that Joy and her family meet along the way. Joy's family consists of her mother, and her brother Will. And I just love this so much. I think it is so important. I highly recommend if you have kids or you're a teacher and you're allowed to teach these kind of books. I think this is a book that every parent should read with their kids. I think that this is a book that everyone should have in a library, especially a classroom library. So I highly recommend this, even though I'm not even finished yet. There's also a self-insert of Kai Shapley, and we learn a little bit about her story as Joy learns. And I just think that this is incredible. If you like Alex Gino or AJ Sass, I think you'll really enjoy this. But I am just really glad that this book exists. We don't have a lot of books that are centered around trans femme representation, especially in middle school. And I think since trans girls especially are being targeted left and right in schools, that this is so important, especially the fact that it's set in Texas. I just highly recommend this, and I know I'm not even finished yet. So I'm going to finish it up and I'll let you know my thoughts. It's a couple hours later, and I have finished up Joy to the World. I highly recommend this. I really enjoyed it. I love having more trans kid stories that aren't just coming out. This is following Joy, a 12-year-old girl who is stealth at her middle school. However, her dreams are shortly crushed when she learns of a Texas state law that prevents her from being on the team. Her superintendent tells her and her family, and this starts her journey to activism. It makes me so sad that trans kids can't just have a childhood. They have to be activists at early ages because of shit like this. But I think that this is such an important book. I loved it so much, and I loved that her faith was actually incorporated. She's religious. It doesn't say what, but she does believe in God. To get out all of her feelings, she writes diary entries, and they are incorporated in the book. And at the end of every diary entry, she says, "God bless," and she picks certain people, and usually it is the people that she's met along the way. I loved all the adults in this book and how they protect her, especially her mom. She's very accepting, and she is doing everything she can to help her daughter. And she also monitors her screen time, which I really appreciated. Kai Shapley is actually a character in the book, her and her mom, Kimberly. And Kimberly tells Joy's mom, "It is our job to worry about our kids, not for our kids to worry. They should go be kids." And I love that because Joy's mom implements that, and she tells her, "We're only gonna read a couple comments and then we're turning it off." And I think that that is awesome. And I think that that is also going to be beneficial for any trans parent that is in that situation and isn't sure what to do. I highly recommend this. I thought it was amazing, and I will leave my full review down below. Thank you so much to HarperCollins for sending me a copy of this. I loved it so much, and I am really glad that I got a chance to read it. And now on to my final book of this video. If you like The Breakfast Club, you're gonna enjoy this. Good morning. If you're a Breakfast Club fan, you're going to love this last book. It is As You Walk On by Julian Winters, which is a lyric from the song Don't You Forget About Me by Simple Minds, which plays in The Breakfast Club. This book is inspired by The Breakfast Club, and it is queer. I love Julian Winters, and I am really excited to pick up this book. It came out in 2023, and I got the audiobook on Libby, so I'll be reading it physically and on audio, so I'm gonna start that this morning. Yesterday, I finished up As You Walk On by Julian Winters, and I think this is my new favorite Julian Winters book. It is a Breakfast Club retelling, and I love the way that he spins it and makes it his own. And that is what I love about his work, is it's just unique. I read a lot of YA contemporary, and every time I pick up his books, it feels like a fresh story and something I've never read before, and I loved this. It talks a lot about family and friendships, especially being a teenager. In this book, Theo is in his junior year and he feels a lot of pressure from his dad. His dad wants him to get out of town and go to Duke. He doesn't really know what he wants to do, and there's a lot of pressure there. Aside from that, he's also dealing with friendship stuff. There's a lot of drama with his friends, starting with breakups and trying to repair what happened, but also he's realizing that his childhood best friend Jay is a dick, pretty much. It is somebody he shouldn't be associated with, but he's coming to the realization that Jay has done a lot of things that he doesn't agree with, and I just loved his best friend Darren. I thought he was awesome. I especially loved the way that Julian Winters decided not to go the traditional route of a Breakfast Club retelling where we're set in detention. Actually, this was set at a house party. The book is not set in 24 hours, but most of the setting is at this high school house party. I really enjoyed the way that we got to know all of the characters and the outsiders. I thought that was so incredible. There's a scene where Theo goes to a room and then he meets the first person and then everybody just starts shuffling into this room and we start learning about them. I thought it was great. I would also say that it's a great comp title to Friday I'm in Love because it does talk about pressure from family and financial troubles. I also thought it was interesting because we don't have a typical dynamic here. We do have Theo, who is gay. As for all of Julian Winters' works, we do have an Achillean romance, and I enjoyed the uniqueness because this was so different from anything I've ever read because of the family dynamics. We are dealing with Theo grieving the loss of his grandmother, and also dealing with some things towards his dad's ex-boyfriend, and I thought it was so interesting about his family because he comes from a single father who is gay and he decided to have a child. He wanted to have a child, and so he went through the proper measurements, and I just thought that that was great. I don't see that ever. I don't think I've ever seen that in a book before, and that's why I love Julian Winters. He is so unique, and I highly recommend this. This is one of my best books of 2024 so far. There are some music references, especially to older music, but also to current music like Doja Cat, and I just really enjoyed this. I would love to know if you have read it in the comments, and that is it for this vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I am so glad I'm finally finished because I had been filming this since September, but I got some good reads and I hope that you got some good recommendations. I would love to know in the comments what your favorite music is, maybe your favorite music genre or artist, maybe the last concert you went to. Let's talk music in the comments. And before I go, I just want to thank you properly because I finally hit 3,000 subscribers. I have been waiting for this for years. Like, I haven't even had a goal because I just felt like it was never going to happen. And now that I finally hit it, I'm like, what's next? I don't know. I really thought that this would never happen. So thank you so much for your support. If you just found my channel this week or last year, or if you've been with me for almost 10 years of this channel, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for being here and liking and just watching my videos. I always make my videos for myself, but I love sharing them with other people and I'm glad that everybody else enjoys them. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to check my description for important resources, and if you are new here, feel free to hit subscribe. I share a lot about queer and trans books and we'll be doing more themed reading vlogs like this. After I finish this vlog, I will be on to the next one, so I would love to have you. Feel free to hit subscribe, and if you did enjoy this video, giving it a like really helps out my channel, so thank you if you do. Thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.